Welcome to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. I'm, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. You're watching this show on YouTube and on Roku, courtesy of the BS3 Network. Going to get into talking some Rice Owls athletics. Briefly, some Houston Cougar news. Not a lot. It's not news to you if you've been keeping up with the Houston Roundball Review on Facebook and Blue Sky and even on that other platform, X, Threads as well. Announced it on Monday about forward JoJo Tugler and his injury. And kudos, I won't say who the person was, but kudos to the first person who brought it to my attention. And then I noticed it. If you can see there, see JoJo's right leg is in a cast. Took a screenshot of it. Took the U8 social media account, men's basketball account. Posted the news, posted day one of the Cougs on June 1st. The freshmen arriving, everyone arriving, the team bonding, getting to know you, having the team meal. But in the video, real quick, JoJo could be seen sitting at the table in a cast, and you see a scooter right there in front of him. So I noticed that, and I was like, what's up with that? So did some checking and found out that he did have surgery about 4 weeks ago on his right foot, and that was the same foot that he injured and had surgery on in February of 24, which caused him to miss the last 3 games of that season. He won't participate in a lot of physical activity during this summer session, but JoJo is expected to make a full recovery and be ready for the fall practice session. So if you haven't seen it or didn't see it or had not heard, Houston Cougars big man, junior forward / center, JoJo Tugler had surgery on his right foot about 4 weeks ago, but he is expected to be ready for the fall practice session. So there you go. Wanted to share that with you on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel and also on Roku via the BS3 Network. I want to give some flowers. He's not dead. We're going to give some flowers and acknowledgement to a local college football legend and a Rice Owls football legend specifically. Jarett Dillard is once again up for the College Football Hall of Fame. This will be his 4th time nominated. Honestly, when I go through the information, I don't know why he hasn't been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Take a look at some of these numbers for wide receiver Jarett Dillard. Record-setting, and definitely record-setting numbers for Jarett Dillard, who led Rice to its first bowl appearance and bowl victory in nearly 5 decades, is one of 77 players from the Football Bowl subdivision on the 2026 ballot for induction into the College Football Hall of Fame, announced on Monday by the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame. Dillard appears on the ballot for the 2nd straight year and the 4th time overall. The ballot was emailed to more than 12,000 members and current members of the Hall of Fame, whose votes will be tabulated and submitted to the NFF's Honors Court, which will deliberate and select the class. Again, look at these numbers. I'm going to get into it here. Although lightly recruited out of high school and signing with a school known for its triple option ground attack, Dillard thrived in the switch to a spread attack in his sophomore season and went on to set NCAA career records for most touchdown receptions, 60, and games with a touchdown catch, 38, as well as the single season record for games with a touchdown reception and consecutive games with a touchdown reception, 13 in 2006. This is a Rice Owls wide receiver. Keep that in mind. Despite playing with 3 different quarterbacks during a breakout sophomore season in 2006, he set NCAA single season records for both games and consecutive games with a touchdown reception, 13, and emerged with no preseason fanfare to be named a Biletnikoff Award finalist while leading the Owls to their first bowl berth in 45 years. He caught 21 touchdown passes as a sophomore and then added 20 as a senior, becoming the only player in NCAA history to twice catch at least 20 touchdowns in a season. He wrapped his career while leading the Owls to a 10-4 season, capped by a win in the Texas Bowl, their first bowl win since 1954, and with virtually every school receiving record in his possession. So why is he not in the College Football Hall of Fame? Come on, make this make sense. He has held the NCAA career record for touchdown receptions for 16, now 17 years, since 2008. The longest any receiver has held the record since 2020. Inductee Elmer Wright's record of 34 stood from 1970 to 1989. Dillard was the first Owl named to the Football Writers All-America team in 50 years in 2008. He was the first player from Rice to earn first-team All-Conference USA 3 times and set conference career marks for touchdown receptions and receiving yards. He was the 10th receiver in NCAA history to pass 4,000 yards receiving and the 13th player with 4 1,000-yard seasons. By the time he was selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 5th round of the 2009 NFL Draft, Dillard had caught at least 2 passes in each game of his career, 49 games, the longest streak in NCAA history for players with multiple catches in every game of the streak. His 51 touchdown receptions from quarterback Chase Clement set the NCAA record for most touchdowns by a passing duo, and the tandem added a 52nd in the Texas Bowl as Dillard threw a scoring pass to Clement. After 3 seasons in the NFL, Dillard retired and entered law school. He was inducted into the Rice Athletics Hall of Fame in 2015 and was an inaugural member of the Conference USA Hall of Fame and the Texas Bowl Gridiron Legend in 2019. 7 Rice players have been inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, including running back Trevor Cobb in 2018. Folks, Jarett Dillard, those numbers, all-time touchdown receptions, consecutive streak with receptions. That's a Hall of Fame career. That's a College Hall of Fame worthy career. He helped lead Rice to a bowl victory, to 10 wins. We're talking about Rice football now. Look at what Rice football is now. Jarett Dillard was a part of successful winning bowl accomplishments for Rice, on top of touchdown numbers that are just mind-boggling. And he's not in the College Football Hall of Fame? Make it make sense. And oh, by the way, Jarett's sister is Ty Dillard, who was on staff at Houston women's basketball before being named the new head coach at Prairie View A&M. So athletes run in the family. Man. So thank you, Boom Boom. for acknowledging this. Thank you for tuning into the show as well. Now I'm going to get into some Big 12 info. The College Football Hall of Fame exists, so players and stats like this can be recognized and celebrated. Agreed. Come on. 41 touchdowns, 21 in one season, 20 in another. The only receiver to have 20 touchdown reception seasons in college career? Make it make sense to me. Miss Wanda, how are you doing? Thank you very much for joining me. You made it a little earlier than you thought. Okay. Boom, boom. I'm just going to play this one more time. Show this one more time, and then get into some Big 12 news. There is the screenshot, the image of JoJo Tugler, his right leg in a cast, and his scooter. It would have been announced sooner. It was inevitable. It was in social media, video posted by the UH men's basketball team. I noticed it. It was brought to my attention. I noticed it. I contacted UH. But obviously, in my opinion, as soon as more and more colleagues were on campus for football, or heck, basketball even practices, summer sessions, they would have seen JoJo moving around on the scooter in his cast. So it was just a matter of time before it was announced. I got to go ahead to announce it with my sources confirming it, that JoJo his right leg is in a cast. He had surgery about 4 weeks ago, and he'll be ready for the fall session. So yes, sources. I know I have sources as well. I'm waiting for UH men's basketball, also women's basketball, to announce some of their non-conference opponents. I'm just waiting because I know a few of the matchups. I'm just waiting to put it out there. Because Kansas and UConn, I think on Wednesday, released some of their opponents, their non-conference foes. So I'm kind of waiting to announce it myself out of respect for my alma mater. I'm waiting for them. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to wait. Hint, hint. I may mention the team and the opponent in the Northeast soon. Might do it on Sunday's Folks Talking Sports show. Coming up this Sunday at 6 p.m. Central on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Who knows? Tune in and see if I drop that little nugget there of information. But back to some Big 12 news. Try to summarize the sub-licensing agreements that the Big 12 has with Warner Brothers and also CBS Sports. Now, this news was announced in the last fall, September, November, but with Commissioner Brett Yormark, his comments last Friday at the Big 12 spring meetings, he made a few comments about referencing these agreements. So I wanted to summarize for this show and put in slide formation for everyone, for the audience to put their eyes on it again in case you did not hear about it, see it back in November. It's now June. Football season begins in August. So here we go. As part of a settlement struck between the NBA and Warner Brothers Discovery, the Big 12 will see 13 of its football games per year moved from ESPN's streaming platform, ESPN Plus, to linear television on WBD channels TNT and TBS. ESPN is also sub-licensing 15 Big 12 men's basketball games to be aired on either TNT or TBS. The sub-licensing deal begins fall 2025, so this year, and spans 6 seasons, running concurrent to the Big 12's new TV contract with partners ESPN and Fox. So this will be year one of the new 6-year deal between the Big 12, ESPN, and Fox. Associated with the agreement between WBD and ESPN, TNT Sports will now televise an exclusive slate of Big 12 football, 13 games each season, and men's basketball, 15 games each season, starting with the 2025 season. WBD, meanwhile, received the 28 Big 12 football and men's basketball games to fill windows previously occupied by NBA matchups. Weekly kickoff times are still unclear, but 10 of the 13 games will be Big 12 conference matchups. The Big 12 games will be simulcast on the streaming service HBO Max, a proprietary unit of WBD. Next, Big 12 and CBS Sports. CBS Sports and the Big 12 Conference have expanded their partnership by increasing the number of Big 12 men's basketball games across the network's platforms. The multi-year deal, which runs through the 26-27 season, is through a sub-license agreement with ESPN. CBS Sports already broadcast a minimum of 6 Big 12 men's basketball games annually on CBS, with those games streaming live on Paramount+. This new agreement adds 20 games per year to air on CBS Sports Network to bring the total number of Big 12 men's basketball games to at least 26 per season across CBS Sports platforms. I think that's a pretty good deal. What do y'all think? And notice, Miss Wanda, Boom Boom, and everyone else watching on Roku and on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, men's basketball, Big 12 men's basketball. No mention of Big 12 women's basketball. So that indicates that nearly all of the Big 12 women's basketball games will be on ESPN Plus once again, with a handful of games airing on probably Fox Sports FS1, maybe Fox Sports 2 FS2. But the women's basketball games are not a part of this arrangement, this new sub-licensing agreement. I think that's an kind of an indicator of where Big 12 women's basketball is in the national landscape of college women's basketball, especially at the elite level. They're not there. Big 12 women's hoops is not the SEC women's basketball. Big 12 women's hoops is not Big 10 women's basketball. Big 12 women's basketball is not the ACC with women's basketball. So the fact that the games are still can be seen on ESPN Plus, it's a positive, but it still would be better for recruiting, for the member schools to have more games on the linear networks. Agree? Disagree? We'll see how it all plays out going forward. But it's one reason why I believe UH women's head coach Matthew Mitchell probably will turn things around for the better for women's hoops at UH, because Big 12 women's basketball is not elite. TCU is the queen of Big 12 women's basketball right now. And Coach Campbell turned it around with a quickness in 2 years, went from last to first in 2 years. Recruiting and hitting the portal, had great success hitting the transfer portal. We'll see if Coach Mitchell will have similar success in such a short amount of time. I'm not looking for it to happen in 2 years. 3 years would be fine. They could be fine with Miss Wanda. Any Cougar, I think it would be fine. As long as it happens soon. 3 to 5 would be fine. 2 would be great. My only expectation for a women's team this season in Big 12 conference play is to win 2 games. 2. Last year's team won 1 game in Big 12 play, including the tournament, the conference tournament. So if they win 2 in the Big 12, it will be a success, in my opinion. So there you go. With the bar is kind of low right now for UH women's basketball. The bar is kind of low for UH baseball. The school put out a statement. Well, it came out. It was announced that baseball coach Todd Whitting will be back for another season, the last year of this current contract for him, much to the disappointment, chagrin of UH alums, UH baseball fans, the dwindling number of them that they are. So much so in disappointment that AD Eddie Nunez made a public statement to explain, to rationalize why he's bringing back Todd Whitting for another season. And I spoke to Coach Whitting about his expectations for next season that we have for baseball next season. We promise to invest more in the program, on and on. These skills, the statement, in a way, they put it out there. I guess they felt the need to put it out there. But in a nutshell, it really comes down to UH doesn't have the money to buy out Coach Whitting and the staff. Already, they're still paying off Coach Holgerson. They did get some good news, though, regarding buying out or paying more than buyout owed to Chris Pesman. Chris Pesman was named the new AD at Arkansas State. So his salary that Arkansas State is paying him, I think, will slice into whatever remaining amount UH owed him in his buyout. So that's a plus. Get rid of these buyouts, barring some sudden shock to all of us. Coach Whitting won't be back for the 26-27 season. So once next season ends, an announcement will be made that Houston is moving on, have decided to not renew Coach's contract, and a national search has begun, is underway for the next coach of Houston Cougars baseball. It's got to deal with the struggles one more year and the small crowds on campus for the home games one more year, and just hope for the best in other sports. And you just go from there. But it is an embarrassing situation for Houston Cougars athletics. Houston Cougars baseball used to be just really, really good, and it is far from that now. Houston Cougars baseball's fall is not as bad as the fall Rice Owls baseball has taken, because that is really bad. Excuse me. College baseball in town is bad. It's bad at Houston. It's bad at Rice. It's bad at Texas Southern. HCU, to their credit, they made it to the NCAA tournament. Good for them. Didn't go far, but it's done. Whatever. These skills, this is true. UH baseball, the baseball park used to be a fun experience. Now it is just depressing. And that's what home games for Houston Cougars women's basketball had become. Depressing. Fans were few and far between, and so were the wins by the Cougs. And a change was finally made there, but the change happened when Coach Huey's contract expired. No buyout there. Softball, same thing. Coach Vesley's contract expired. No buyouts. This starting July 1st, the Cougs finally receive a full share of revenue from the Big 12. That will help. Sorely needed. And maybe that additional revenue will be put toward coaches and other teams besides football and men's basketball. Time will tell. You are watching this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break. Not quite the exact bottom of the hour, but I want to get into the promo for BS3. It's the new promo, and this one is about 90 seconds. And then after that, for the second half of the show, Rice Owls men's basketball announced some signings. Rice Owls women's team is overseas for their foreign trip. So we'll talk about that and then get into the NBA Finals as well. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break on Throwback Thursday, powered by JM&E and streaming on Roku via the BS3 Network. I'm, of course, KG, Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. We'll be back in about 90 seconds.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on the Houston Roundball Review's YouTube channel and also on Roku via the BS3 Network. I am KG, Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. And during the break, Queen Wanda Polk showed this news or posted this news. Is this true? That Fox 26 has eliminated its sports department? Is that true? I mean, I'm not doubting you, Miss Wanda. I just haven't heard it yet. I mean, obviously, I'm doing this show. That's horrible. That's awful. I appreciated Will Kunkel's coverage of UH athletics. Will's podcast with, what was it? Kicking with Kunkel. He had a great interview with Eddie Nunez. A lot of information came out of that conversation that he had with Mr. Nunez. That's awful. If Fox 26 has indeed decided to eliminate its sports department. I mean, they were on a shoestring anyway. The sports department, even when Scoop Berman was there, she said the Chronicle just reported as well. Excuse me. That's horrible. That's awful. But when Scoop was there before he retired, he was it. He had, let's see, Sal, Scoop, and maybe Sal, Doug, maybe 2 videographers in the department. So it was Berman and the 2 videographers. And then one went back and forth between sports and news department. And then Scoop retired and Will was brought in. Man, that's horrible. That is horrible. It's disappointing. Fox 26 Sports was especially when Mark Berman was there, was one of the best local sports stations, sports areas, departments to cover colleges, the Houston area teams, including women's sports, doing stories on UH, Rice, TSU, Prairie View, high school. Wow. That's a bummer. That really is disappointing. But Miss Wanda, D Skills, I'm going to put it around, spin it this way. Nate did a lot of news as well. I mean, his duties kind of shifted more to news last few months. Also, I got to contact Nate after this show and call him and find out how this impacts him. I mean, obviously, Nate, I made appearances. Nate invited me to be with him a few times on location or via Zoom in the morning on his sports segments. So yeah, this wow, this sucks. You know, people, I don't know if Will be reassigned to news, or if Will move, or Will try to find another job locally. But talking about people's lives and their jobs and employment, man, it stinks. But ironically, I already had this ready because I wanted to put it out there. I got to put it out there. It's not new, but I've done a poor job of publicizing it. This is the main page of the Houston Roundball Review online business directory. And you see how it looks with the logos for the companies: Bayou Beat, B League Basketball, Pantaleon Law Firm, Pruitt's Mortuary, Star Pizza, Byron Riley CPA, Dr. Maisha, the first one, Teos Brewery, United Sports Entertainment. Miss Wanda says Will is gone. Man, that's just awful news. And of course, you see VIP Realty and the Saxenian family. If you are interested in being a part of this business directory, simply email me, contact me, advertise at thehrr.com. And you can also click on the link. The link is placed in the description on the YouTube video in the description field. I added a link to it right there. You can click on it and see what it looks like on the website. So there are different ways to get your company name out there. And also, if you become a sponsor of the directory, you also get a plug during one of the live stream shows. So you get your company name mentioned during Folks Talking Sports, Let's Talk Houston Rockets, this show, as well as on Facebook in a reel, on Instagram in a reel, TikTok in a reel, etc. So you will reach thousands of people. Houston Roundball Review has over 5 million views on YouTube, thousands on Instagram, thousands on TikTok, thousands on Facebook. And the price is very, very reasonable in my opinion. But man, oh man. So that's disappointing. So Will is gone. Yeah, I got to reach out, and Nate'll be my first call after I end this show, that Fox 26 has eliminated its sports department. Sign of the times, honestly, folks. If you do watch local news, over the years, the time allocated to sports has shrunk. When I was younger, growing up teenager, college, sports had, what would you say, 5 to 7, 8 minutes part of the 30/35 minute broadcast of news, the nightly news. At least 5 minutes, all the time. And now it's down to like 3, and weather has grown. And then news, of course, has grown. So sports departments are being eliminated. And I mean, it's one reason why you see shows dedicated to high school sports done by Todd Freed and my brother Jim Hicks. It's why Andy and I do shows, live stream shows, because they're different ways to reach your audience. Live streaming, podcasting. The local aspect of it is shrinking, but it's still a bummer to see folks who have lost their job, their livelihood has been impacted by this decision by Fox 26 to eliminate the sports department. Miss Wanda, D Skills. Rice Owls Athletics is joining again. This is two weeks in a row. Is joining the 21st century. Take a look at this. Rice Athletics has announced the launch of the South Main Fund, a new opportunity for donors to directly support Rice student assets and help to ensure that Rice continues to recruit, retain, and develop the best student assets in the nation. The South Main Fund will help to provide the resources necessary to remain competitive in a new era of college athletics. Donations to the South Main Fund will specifically support name, image, and likeness opportunities and direct support for student assets. Although separate, the South Main Fund will operate in coordination with the Owl Club, which will continue to provide support for all Rice athletics programs. Contributions to the South Main Fund are tax deductible and can be designated for a specific program. The South Main Collective, which was created in order to provide Rice student athlete with NIL and internships, will continue to operate and remains an option for anyone wishing to support financially through commercial partnerships with student athletes, student assets, or providing internships. Now, I got to say this. Rice put out there that this contributions to the South Main Fund are tax deductible. I'm not sure about that, because collectives, as far as I know, I think specifically regarding Lincoln Cougs, contributions to Lincoln Cougs, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know everything, are not tax deductible. Contributions directly made to the University of Houston are tax deductible. So I don't know what designation the Owl South Main Fund has, but as a collective, a specific collective, I thought the contributions were not or are not tax deductible. Good to hear and see from my brother. Saw him last Saturday. Me and 3 other buddies, best friends, got together and sat down for lunch and chopped it up. Raymond, bring back some old school names, dudes I looked up to. I miss Craig Roberts and Bob Allen. Always watched their broadcasts, and it was interesting. It was cool for me when I started covering the Rockets, Comets, the local teams, to spend time with Craig Roberts and Bob Allen. It's like, wow, I've been watching you. So it was really cool. And now they, but yes, Miss Wanda, Rice has really, they woke up. D Skills states, I would feel funny about giving money to Rice when they spend about $25.75 on athletics. Yeah, you're being kind. That's more than I would say. Because, I mean, maybe with these changes or waking up to reality and the year 2025, Rice will do better. Rice will do more for its student athletes, its student assets. As I stated earlier, the women's basketball team is overseas They left June 1st for a 10-day trip to Italy and Greece. They've posted things, highlights and clips from on social media. Out of the trip, they're only playing, I think, 2 games for competition. So the trip is another opportunity to bond with your teammates, the cultural experience. But it's good for Coach Edmonds. The entire staff is there. So head coach Lindsay Edmonds, her assistant coaches, Coach Edmonds and her husband and their daughters, everyone, families there, strength coaches there, players are there. So it's a good opportunity for the young ladies to gain and experience another culture, different cultures. So salute to them. An overseas trip is allowed by the NCAA, I think, every 4 years. So this is, I think, Coach Edmonds' first overseas trip as head coach at Rice. So that's good for her and the program and the staff. So kudos to everyone who supported that financially to make it happen. Because, that's women's basketball. That's good to see. More Rice athletics news. Men's hoops announced 5 new members to the 25-26 men's basketball roster. First up, Nick Anderson, transfer from Prairie View. 6'5" guard forward, played only 12 games last year due to a season-ending injury, but in those 12 games, averaged 18.9 points per game and 5.3 rebounds per game. Prior to PV, he spent 2 seasons at St. Thomas, averaging 13.7 points per game, 4.1 boards, shot 47.3% from the floor, 34.5 from 3, and 81.6 from the free throw line. Now the next one, Miss Wanda D. Skills Raymond. This one surprises me. Eternity, not his name. That doesn't surprise me. Eternity Iguaji, 6'6" forward from Colby Community College. It is very, very, very rare for Rice Athletics, Rice University, to accept transfers from a community college. Very, very rare. In my 31 years now of covering Rice Athletics, Houston area teams, Eternity might be the 2nd or 3rd player to transfer to Rice via a community college. He's not the first, but it's not a long list. It might be just 2 or 3. And one person who would know, God rest his soul, may he rest in peace, Jerry Lee Woodley Jr., the Fifth Ward Wildcat, Mr. Rice Owl, he would know how many transfers Rice Athletics has accepted, because it's not a lot. It is a short list. But at CCC, Eternity averaged 18.3 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 1.1 steal, shot 50.4% from the floor, almost 75% from the line, named Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference Freshman of the Year, and earned first team all KJCCC honors. Now, of course, a big question will be, will his talent translate to Division I AAC basketball? We'll see. Coach Rob Lanier and the staff are betting on it. Next, big fella, Stephen Giwa, 6'9" center, going to be a grad student at Rice. Last 4 years at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Not a big scorer. Last season, 5.9 points per game. That's typos. It's 24-25 season. 5.9 points per game, 5.1 rebounds. He shot the ball well, so he doesn't have a vast range. He scores around the hoop. Career numbers, 5 points per game, 4 boards per game. Shot 60% from the floor. Fort Bend High School, first team all district. So he's from the area. He's coming home. Fourth transfer signee, Dallas Hobbs, coming a long way. From Mount St. Mary's, 6'1" guard from Dallas area, 10.1 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 2.9 assists. Last season, 12.4 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists. Scored double digits 20 times, including at least 20 points 3 times. He made 4 threes in Mount St. Mary's first 4 win over American. And then lastly, but not least, from H-Town, Jordan Williams, 6'2" guard. Last 2 seasons at Vanderbilt. Last year played only 10 games, 23-24. Played in 27 games, 10 starts. Was a redshirt freshman at Texas A&M in the 2022-23 season. From Second Baptist High School, named the TAPS Class 5A State Player of the Year as a junior. First team All-State. Scored 32.2 points per game, 11.3 rebounds, 8.1 assists, 3.3 steals. So the level of competition in TAPS, he's excelled. Hasn't excelled so much in college. We'll see what Jordan Williams is able to do at Rice, along with returners like point guard Trey Broadnax. Owls unfortunately lost a few players into the portal. And in my opinion, their best player, Jacob Dar, 6'9", athlete. Well, he could have been all conference in the American if he'd have come back. Decided to transfer to Seton Hall. And I'm going to say this, I don't know for certain, but I think it's pretty safe to say. One of the reasons he decided to transfer is the lack of support from a collective. Support for the Rice athletes at the time. So maybe if the South Main Fund had existed prior, Coastal Near would not have lost players to the portal. Had Caden Powell transferred to Baylor, Jacob going to Seton Hall. I think another player transferred to Duke. So Rice had talent, but that talent left to go elsewhere and probably to get paid as well. Sign of the times. So maybe the South Main Fund will help turn things around for Rice Owls men's basketball specifically. That's my main sport. But overall for Rice athletics. Final moments of this edition of the Takeover. Tonight, game 1. NBA Finals. Who you got? Pacers, OKC tonight, 7:30 tip-off. All games on ABC. Game 2 Sunday. Game 3 Wednesday, June 11th. Game 4 Friday, June 13th. Game 3 and 4 in Indiana. Game 5, if necessary, and I think it will be, I hope it will be, Monday, June 16th, back in OKC. Game 6, Thursday, June 19th in Indiana, if necessary. And then wrapping it up, if necessary, Game 7, Sunday, June 22nd, back at OKC. The Thunder have home court advantage. I choose to believe, I hope, the series goes long. I said on Folks Talking Sports on Sunday, I'm picking the Pacers to win, the Thunder to win the series. I'm picking the Pacers to make it a competitive series. The series is going to go 7. It may not be watched by those folks who just only know Steph and LeBron and Luka. So the ratings numbers will probably take a big hit. But for the basketball fans, it's going to be a fun series. It should be competitive. You got young stars on both teams. Mr. Halliburton, Tyrese, has a little mean streak in him. Likes to talk some trash. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is more laid back. Jalen Williams is kind of more outgoing. Chet Holmgren. So OKC has talent, young talent. The Pacers, of course, have a Cougar in Jarrett Walker on their roster. Jarett is going to miss at least games 1 and 2 with an ankle injury he suffered. It looked worse than I think he'll be out longer than 2 games, but Coach Rick Carlisle said he'll miss the first 2 games for sure. But the Pacers have Halliburton, Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam, Obi Toppin, Nesmith, Nembhard, the baddest man in NBA who nobody wants to mess with, in James Johnson. Nobody. Mr. Black Belt. I think it's going to be a fun series, competitive series. Turnovers, both teams capitalize very well off teams' turnovers. If the Pacers can limit their mistakes, I'm kind of curious to see. And both teams go deep into their bench, too. Unlike old school NBA coaches who only play 7 or 8 players in the playoffs. OKC, Indiana, not afraid to use 9, 10, 11 players in the playoffs. Hell, why the hell not? If that's what you did during the regular season, do it in the playoffs. You can still play fast and force tempo and have a track meet if you want to. And you can still play defense. You can still pressure full court. I'm looking forward to the matchup. Game 1 tonight, 7:30 tip Central, maybe 7:40, whatever, ABC. Even though ABC is going to have a pregame show, they're still going to delay the start of game 1 another 10 minutes. What the hell is the point of the pregame show if you're not going to start the game on time at 7:30? Anyway, I digress on all of that. But that'll do it on this edition. I got to call Nate Griffin and get some more details about the surprising news of Fox 26 eliminating the sports department there. Got to read about it and then call, find out more info. Still nothing new regarding the Players Era Festival matchups being finalized. The teams, not sure if Texas A&M will be put back into it. Not sure if Maryland, led now by head coach Buzz Williams, will be a part of it, because the Aggies, when Coach Buzz was the head coach of the Aggies, were one of the teams listed as a participant in the 2025 Players Era Festival. But since Buzz is now the head coach at Maryland, the Aggies are not in it as of today. So will that change? It probably won't impact who the Cougs are facing in the Players Era Festival. The first 2 matchups are pretty set. One of them has already been made public by me and colleague Joseph Duarte, Tennessee. The other opponent, I know, kind of surprised at who it is, kind of disappointed in who it is, honestly, based on the teams who are in the event. But again, as a teaser to get you to watch this Sunday's Folks Talking Sports show, I might announce who the Northeast opponent is for the Cougars that Coach Sampson hinted at in terms of Northeast. I might go ahead and divulge who that is. I might. Tune in and find out. But thank you to Raymond, Miss Wanda, Boom Boom, D-Skills for contributing to the conversation on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel and also on Roku via the BS3 Network. If you are a Rockets fan, thank you for watching these last 2 most recent Let's Talk Houston Rockets shows, doing some scouting reports on Colin Murray Boyles and Cedric Coward. Both those shows are posted on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Probably going to do another show on Friday for Rocket fans. And then, of course, Sunday, sports fans, tune in for Folks Talking Sports with me, Willie Gibson, Kenitra Pulliams, and a special guest. Well, not special guest. He's been a guest before. But, see, technology. Ray's watching from a food court. Excellent, Ray. Excellent. You come a long way, brother, with your smartphone technology. Welcome to that. Appreciate you. And reminder to everyone, if you want to advertise on this show, email me, advertise@THEHRR.com. Order you some merch as well. There's a link to the Houston Roundball Review merchandise in the description below the video on YouTube. Click on that merch to buy you a cap, a Houston Roundball Review cap, different designs and caps, different designs for mugs, tank tops, shirts, etc. So different ways to show and wear your support of the Houston Roundball Review. Wrapping it up, as I always do. Since 1994, that's a long time. Since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Everyone, you guys take care. Peace.